everyone, I'm Sally Engelhardt, Grand Prix Dressage rider. Today we're answering a viewer question, and that question comes from Fiona Tomney, and she is asking about the canter to trot transitions. So when you're making a transition from the canter to the trot, what's happened is that the canter, of course, you've built up a lot of energy. It would also depend how long you've been cantering. So you want to, the length of the canter, if your horse isn't as fit, or if your horse is a little bit young or a little bit green, you don't want to canter too long. And if you do, don't expect a good trot transition. And by too long, I mean, more than a circle and a half, or I guess more than, say you're going around the outside, you would want to maybe only do one or two short sides, and then come back to your trot. So if you want to achieve a good trot transition, don't be cantering too long. So that's the first thing to think about. So what's happened? You're cantering, you've got a whole heap, the horse has given you a whole heap of energy, and you want to make sure that energy stays, you want to make sure the wither and the shoulders stay upwards, stay light in the transition to the trot. So in those final canter strides, you want to think about shortening the stride length and lightening the shoulders. And by shortening the stride length and lightening the shoulders, you're asking the horse to sit down a little more, to engage the inside hind leg even more, so that the hind leg can power you into the trot rather than propel you down towards the ground. And that might be what some riders feel when they come from the canter into the trot. They're like, they get a lurch forward and a dropping of the wither, and the pole, and the horse might grab at the bit or drop his head at the same time. So if you set the horse up so that the wither is light, so that he's sitting a little bit, you've shortened the stride length, and you do that through your half halts, through your posture and your seat. So set it up like that, and then you can come down into the trot with that immobilisation of your back and your seat, sets the pelvis against the saddle, the horse goes, yep, into the trot, and he should hit the trot still with good energy. This is how you improve the trot, by making canter to trot transitions. The trot that you get after a canter is the best trot your horse will give you. And don't be afraid to exploit that too. Again, keeping it light, keeping it energised, and that's often what people struggle with, what riders struggle with, is keeping the energy while shortening the stride length. Because often the horse will say, you've just told me to slow down, I might as well stop. And so often if you shorten the stride length without a little bit of supporting leg, and I mean little bit. So, but you have to make sure the horse is listening to that little bit of the leg. If you don't feel that your horse is listening to that little bit of leg, you need to fix that. Shorten the stride with that, and then add that little bit of leg to say, keep the energy, keep the energy, keep the energy, and then trot. Where was I going to go? And so when you're saying shorten, so you're giving your little half halt. So little half halt, of course, if the horse isn't listening to the half halt, you'll need to fix that first. Then come back and work on your canter to trot transition. So little half halt and then a little bit of leg, but make sure you're not doing the half halt and the leg at the same time. The half halt and the leg it's kind of like a conversation, and in that conversation you can talk really quickly. So you could do half halt leg, half halt leg, half halt leg, or you can do half halt leg, half halt leg. So you can talk. You can have that conversation at different speeds. And in the canter, of course, there's lots happening. Depends on what size horse you ride as well. If you've got a big horse, you've got a bit more time between the half halt and the leg. If you're riding a small horse or a pony, then the time between the half halt and the leg is going to be very short indeed. But yeah, always make sure that the half halt and the energising leg are separated. Doesn't have to be by much, but just make sure they're separated. And if you can work on that, the main aim is to keep the wither light, have the horse sit a bit, and then you should have a really good quality canter to trot transition. So thanks, Fiona, for your question. Don't forget that you can put your questions in the comments section below and we'll pick one to answer next time. Thanks for listening.